Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faisal bin Muhammad Fauzi. My matric number B0820100283. So today I will show you how to solve this question. This question about E-MOSFET feedback bias circuit. You must determine VGSQ, IDQ, VDSQ, VDS, VD, and VS from the circuit. So I will show you how to do. Firstly, you must find the K. This is the basic equation for E-MOSFET. So K equal I on over VGS on minus VGS TH, the power of 2. So all these value are given at question. So K equal 0.55 milliampere. Okay, then we want to search the value of VGS. So randomly take value between 4 and 7. So I take 6 volt. So ID equal K multiply VGS minus VGSTH, the power of 2. You will use this equation for another VGS value. So I get ID equal 2.22 milliampere for 6 volt. So VGS equal VDD minus ID multiply RD plus RS. So I get VGS equal to 22 volt when ID equal to 0. So ID equal VDD over RD plus RS. So I get ID 12.86 milliampere when VGS equal to 0. So these two value for network bias line. Okay, then I will take two value VGS randomly higher than 7 volt. So I take 8 volt and the ID is 8.88 milliampere, and another value is 9 volt. The ID is 13.873 milliampere. You will use this value for sketch the graph. So here the graph ID versus VGS. So we start from VTH, that's it, 4 volt. Then go to another value of VGS that we take is 8 volt. 8 volt equal to 8.88 milliampere, and then another value is 9 volt. The ID is 13.873 milliampere. For network bias line, we take ID when VGS equal to 0. So VDD we get here 12.86 milliampere, and the value of VGS equal to 22 when ID equal to 0. So from this two line we get the Q point, which is this is IDQ and this is VGSQ. So IDQ equal to 8.25 milliampere, VGSQ equal to 7.85 volt. So from graph we get IDQ equal to 8.525 milliampere and VGSQ equal to 7.85 volt. So we can find VD that which is VD equal VDD minus ID multiply with RD. So we get VD equal to 12.1 volt. So VGS equal to ID multiply RS, we get 4.2 volt. We want to find VDS equal to VD minus VS. 12.1 minus 4.2, we get 7.9 volt. So here the value what you need. So thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afiq Aiman. My number matric is B082010-186. Yeah, this is for the question 2. Refer to the circuit in figure 2. Determine the VGSQ, IDQ, VDS, VD, and VS for E-MOSFET bias circuit. And this is the solution. Okay, first you must find the value of K. The formula for K is equal to ID on over VGS on minus VGS TH power of 2. So we can get the value is 4 over 7 minus 3 power of 2. The value for K is 0.25 milliamp. And then we find the value for VGS. The formula for VGS is equal to VDD minus ID multiplied by RD. So we get a value for VDD is 16 minus ID, and for value RD is 2K. And then we find the value for ID. The formula for ID is equal to K multiplied by VGS minus VGS power of 2. After we find the value of ID, we in the formula into the formula for VGS. So VGS equal to 16 minus 0.25 milli multiplied by VGS negative 3 power of 2. After that, we can get the value for VGSQ is equal to 3.196 volt. And then we find the value for IDQ. And this is the solution for IDQ. IDQ equal to 16 minus 3.196 over 2K. You can get the value for IDQ is 6.402 milliamp. And then for VD, the formula for VD is equal to VRD minus IDQ multiplied by RD. You get 16 minus 6.402 milliamp multiplied by 2K. Can get the value for VD is 3.196 volt. And formula for VDS is VDS equal to VD. So the value for VDS is same with value VD. And we can get the value for VDS is equal to 3.196 volt. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afidinia bin Manazri. My matric number B0820103996. So today I want to explain how I get VGSQ, IDQ, VDS, VD, and VS for the MOSFET circuit. So first of all, this is circuit and information that has been given. So first step is we find VG. So VG equal to R2 times VDD divided by R1 plus R2. So we insert all information that has been given. R2 is 6.8 million ohm times 24 divided by 10 million ohm plus 6.8 million ohm. So we get 9.714 volt. So second one is we find VGSQ. VGSQ equal to VG minus ID times RS. So we get VG. So we get VG and RS. RS is 0.75 kilo ohm. So we did not get ID. So how to get ID? So first we make VGS equal to 0 volt. So 0 equal to 24 volt minus ID times 0.75 kilo ohm. So we transfer negative ID times 0.75 kilo ohm to another side and we solve it. So we get 32 milliampere. So ID 32 milliampere. So we plot on here ID 32 milliampere. And so just now we get VG equal to 9.714 volt. We plot here. So we make a straight line for this graph. Okay. So from this graph, So from the graph given, we must find VGSQ, IDQ. So for just now, we get a straight line. So how we want to get this line? So VGS equal to 3 volt. So 3 is 0. 3 is 0 ID. So why is it 0? Because VGS TH has been given 3 volt. So that means it's 0. VGS 6 volt. VGS 6 volt is from here. So how we get 4.95 milliampere? So first step is we must solve K, we must solve this K. So K equal to ID on divided by open bracket VGS on minus VGS TH close bracket power of 2. So we solve it, we get 0.5 milliampere. So formula to find ID is ID equal to K open bracket VGS minus VGS TH close bracket power of 2. So we apply this formula into this to find what is ID for VGS 6 volt. So ID equal to 0.55 milliampere open bracket 6 is VGS minus 3 is from VGS TH that has been given here. So close bracket power of 2. So we get 4.95 milliampere. So we plot here 4.95 milliampere. So we apply from this formula to find 9 volt and 12 volt. So 9 volt we get ID equal to 8.8 milliampere. So 8.8 milliampere here, we plot this. For VGS 12 volt, we get 19.8 milliampere. So we plot here. So we make a line. Okay, from this line we can see that there's a intersection here. From this intersection, we get IDQ equal to 7 milliampere. And for this, in X, X line, we get VGSQ equal to 7.8 volt. Okay, so we get VGSQ is 7.8 volt and IDQ is 7 milliampere. Okay, now we must find VDS. So VDS equal to VDD minus IDQ open bracket RS plus RD close bracket. So information that we get, VDD is equal to 24, IDQ is 7 milliampere and RS 0.75 kilo ohm plus RD 2.2 kilo ohm. So we get 3.35 volt. So the same step we apply for to find VD. So VDD minus IDQ times RD. So we get 8.6 volt. And for VS, VDD minus IDQ times RS. So we insert all information that we get. So the answer is 18.75 volt. That's all for me. Thank you for watching.